meetings.
Okay. James.
It is 10:05 Monday, the 9th day of May, 2022. I make a motion that the regular meeting of the Navarro County Commissioners Court come to order.
Second. Motion made by Commissioner Olson, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And we are in session. I'd ask everyone to please stand for opening prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll ask Commissioner Grant to lead us in prayer today, please, sir.
Lord, thank you for this day and for the many blessings you give us each and every day. We just thank you for all those that are here, Lord. We hope that we are able to answer any questions. We ask that you be with us and help us to make the best decisions for our county always, and to keep our citizens in mind when we do that. Lord, we ask that you be with all of our county employees, our first responders, and our road crews. Keep all of them safe. We ask that you get all these fine people here home safely today. We ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Please join me for the pledge. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Okey doke. Stuart Reed.
Yes, sir. I'm Stuart Reed. I live at 13028 Rudy's Way,
You feel more comfortable being over here?
wherever you want me, sir.
Well, no, it's just up to you, really.
I've got a couple of pictures. Could you grab those? Sure. Thank you. As I was saying, I live at 13028 Rudy's Way in Streetman. Our development, Rustling Oaks, is in precinct number 3. Here's a couple of pictures of some potholes in our road 2350, which is our only access road to the project. And Mr. Moore has been working on our road the last couple of weeks. But these are potholes that he hasn't covered, so you can imagine what the rest of the roads look like. These aren't the worst. The road is kind of like skiing downhill on a mobile course. If you've ever done any skiing, it's been patched so much and they just gonna throw the cold patch in and it ends up as a hump. And now we got humps all down the road, and even if it's not a pothole, you run over a bump. I've lived in Rustling Oaks for almost 17 years. And over that period of time, I have paid over $3,000 in road and bridge taxes. If you add up all of the taxes that have been paid by the owners of property in Rustling Oaks over that same period of time, it would total over $170,000. This amount would have provided a new road, chip and seal, almost 3 times. But that hasn't happened. Mr. Moore has told me that he is waiting for the work to be done in Admiral Shores before fixing the road. Now, recently, he told me he was going to put a top coat on the road, which turned out to be about 4 areas of patching. He also told me that he's going to chip and seal the entire road next year. Hopefully that'll happen. Mr. Moore has also told me and other residents of Rustling Oaks that he doesn't have the money to fix the road. But yet the financial information I downloaded from the county's financial information shows that his precinct spends more on salaries and benefits than it spends on materials to fix the roads. Why does each precinct need a road crew if they don't have enough money to buy material to fix the road? Another bit of information I gleaned from the Navarro County website is that Mr. Moore's precinct had an actual ending fund balance of over $1 million in years 2020 and 2021. He is also projected to have an ending fund balance of over $800,000 this year. Now, if Mr. Moore is correct that his budget is in the hole because he doesn't have any money to spend or buy material, then I guess I can assume somebody's hiding money in his fund for some reason. This balance, of course, would be more than enough to fix our road and make all of our residents pleased that they live in Navarro County. I might also add that in the 17 years I have lived in Rustling Oaks, I have paid over $20,000 in taxes to Navarro County. And yet we get no police protection. We get no fire protection. We have no sewer service and no water service from Navarro County. Now multiply this by the number of property owners in Rustling Oaks, and you have a pretty large amount of taxes paid for very little service. So we have a bunch of disgruntled people in Rustling Oaks. New Admiral Shores is going in with very large number of people and expensive homes. The Woods development uses the same entrance road. I think it's time that the county and precinct 3 spend some money and fix this road and make it a usable road that we don't wreck our cars on. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Carla Steele.
I'm Carla Steele. I live at 6819 at 37 on down south, and I'm here to talk about the Bitcoin company that was slipped in. This is my daughter Briar. She's 19. And for 19 years, I've been her voice. And I don't have a lot. What we do have is our land and our home. My family, my father-in-law, we lived there, we've lived there for over 100 years. And to let some company slip in that's prepared to destroy our way of life for money, it's just, I'll never understand. I came here fully prepared with a big long speech and I can't get it out. I know that we can't stop them from building on their land because they purchased it. However, sneakily, they've snuck in to the county. But I'm here to ask you to do everything in your power to not make it easy for them, because I know that you do have that power. I may not be able to stop them, but there are people that can. We were approached, my family, to sell land, and as my father-in-law so eloquently put it, money's not everything. I have neighbors that I have to look out for that don't have a voice, that can't speak for themselves, that don't comprehend what's going on. And I know that this company claims that they'll be a good neighbor, that they're going to do everything they can to make everything great for us, but they don't have that in their power. This place is going to be huge. We live in the country for a reason. It's open, it's beautiful. I can walk outside. I can take my child outside and not have to worry about things that I would have to worry about in the city. My kids grew up out there, hunting arrowheads, fishing, hunting. When we talked about the wildlife in the area, one of our people were told, oh, there ain't nothing out there but hogs and deer. I beg to differ. We have wild eagles nesting right on our property. You can see it from our house. I don't know at this point what can be done, but I can promise you that I will do everything in my power, however small that it may be, to stop this. And I'm here to beg you to do everything in your power to stop it. There are things that you can do. Don't give them a tax abatement. Tell them don't just sell the water. Stop selling the water. We spent a week with a special needs child with no power. What is this company going to do to our power grid? I hear, oh, it's just, you don't understand. It's going to make it better. Really? We went without power. No heat, no electricity. Wondering how you're going to feed your child, how you're going to keep them warm enough. No one should have to go through that. And when this company comes in, the whole county may have to do that. They're going to pull enough power to pull, what, 21 million homes? Companies like this have been run out of every state, other countries. China ran them out. Why are we taking China's trash? Literally in my front yard. Please, I'm gonna beg one more time. For the people that don't have a voice, stop them. That's what I say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Barry Phillips.
Went ahead and put my name on there. I'm very, Zayo. And I'm on the agenda, Judge, further
Oh,
down the line.
later on. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Dottie Barnes.
Hello, Judge and Commissioners. Thanks for letting me talk. My name is Dottie Barnes. Just like yesterday, I think, Dinesh D'Souza released a movie called 2000 Mules. And what this was, there were 6 counties or 6 states that stopped counting. Those people used mules, people to stuff the mail-in ballot box drops. I believe that the reason why there was a Supreme Court leak about abortion thing was to stop America from talking about voter fraud. Now, all of you, I've talked to a few of you about the kind of voter fraud that I'm going to speak about. But I believe in one vote. Some of those people got 50,000 votes. They pulled in truckloads, semi-truckloads of ballots that were not folded, so they weren't mailed and somehow counted. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in Navarro County. We used an electronic voting machine. I used to be the election judge. I loved how fast it was after the last voter to count up and take, after a 14-hour day, and take my thumb drive to the counting station. I love that. But we have got to stop using electronic voting machines, and particularly ES&S. So I believe, hopefully you all want to stop voter fraud. I get one vote. Somebody in Navarro County got 1,500 votes that were changed in Navarro County's machines from somewhere on using the internet. They say they're not connected to the internet, but all across the nation, Mike Lindell proved in every single county in Ohio, every single county in Chicago, and many, I'm not sure if it's every single county, but I figure if they came to Navarro County, they have changed votes in a lot of the counties in Texas. Why are we going to be a part of that? We have got to go to paper ballots. It's going to be horrible to try and count these ballots at the precinct the night of election counting. But this is how we get an honest election. We count the votes on paper. We have a paper trail, and we each precinct can count their votes and then take it to the counting station. It's going to be longer. It's going to be a hassle, but this is the way that we here, you here in Navarro County, can make sure that we have an honest election. It needs to be one person, one vote. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bill Carson.
Thank you, Todd.
So, thank y'all. Following up on Dottie, the election system across the republic has been corrupted by these machines, that the machines talk to each other. There's undisputed, using Dottie again, Mike Lindell did a lot of money and a lot of effort and a lot of work to go into, and he found every single county in Texas had votes flipped in the world, out there in the wherever it is, and nobody has disputed that claim. It's indisputable. The machines, if you believe the machines are not connected to the internet, this isn't connected to the internet either. And I can look on here and find out that the machines are not hooked up to the internet. The little tiny chip in here, it ain't very big in that machine either. The machines talk to each other. The machines we use tabulate the results, determinant on what's going on in the world, in the rest of the state or in the nation. The votes in the 2020 election were corrupted in many places, in many ways. There are three things that our county needs. We have to have tabulatorless machines. These machines, they read a barcode and they determine what the vote is. They don't read our optics. The old days, before Al Gore invented the internet, we had yes, no opticals. And the scanner read the scans. We had a paper rollout. We took that to the county added that to theirs, and we had results. Our county should own its own database of electors. We depend on the state. The state was not able to get our March 1st results. We had our precinct conventions on Saturday after. We didn't have the rolls. We had our county convention 3 weeks later. We didn't have the rolls. We didn't get the information back from the state. We must own that. That can be shared with the state, as opposed to us being dependent on the bigger government. In the now, our machines talk to each other. Our machines tabulate results determinant on a bigger picture. We have the opportunity to take control of our elections at the county level. The machines we use in Navarro County, Texas, talk to other machines to determine what our vote will be. It is undisputed. In order to determine that we are not being scammed by software in computers in our election system, I request the right to hand count the Trump-Biden votes from the 2020 election. I have volunteers who will help me. I will follow any guidelines to adhere to any county supervision. And I request a response from the court for this request in Libertyville.
Okay, thank you, sir. Randall, Land,
I can just stand here if that's okay.
Yeah.
My question is for Eddie Moore on 411. I showed up and I'm with you on the roads. My roads are not being fixed. I live on County Road 2230. When I came here, I wasn't given the opportunity to speak because I know you have to sign your sheet. So thank you for doing that this morning, because people that don't come here all the time don't know they need to sign the sheet. So on 411, you told me you're going to come out and fix the potholes. On 425, I was actually able to speak, and we went through a couple of things, why my potholes are not filled and why we haven't had mowing when we've got a surplus in the budget, from what I understand. So we've got a problem with getting boots on the ground and guys to work. So we got to get that fixed. We got to get guys over there that are actually going to work and do the job that we paid them to do. So my question to you is, Eddie, we talked about it on 411, we talked about it on 425, here it is 5/9. When you come and fix the road?
When the brush cutter gets done with the road he's on, like we talked about 2 weeks ago, he will be over there.
We talked about it a month ago. Are you scheduled a month out?
Yeah,
Okay, so at what point will I expect your guy over there on our road?
I can't give you a date.
We said it would be within 30 days the last time we talked.
And that was 2 weeks ago,
Correct. So is it still in line for the next 2 weeks?
hopefully, weather permitting.
Hopefully, weather permitting is not an issue.
Last week we had some weather issues that,
We got weather all the time.
well, that changes just like your roofing business.
That's right. And I roof every day. And I don't put the schools off when you call and ask me to fix the leaks. I go get it done. So my question is, when we
If
get
it's
it done?
raining, you can't do it. I mean,
That's true. You can't
so
do it.
that's-
But it
kinda-
rained 2 days and you had 2 weeks.
Okay.
Right?
He'll be able.
Okay. So when? That's my question.
Well, like I just said, when he gets done with this road that he's on right now.
Okay, thank you. I'll be
Thank you,
back
sir.
to the next meeting.
All right, we move on now to our consent agenda, item 5 and 6. If we need to discuss either one of those, we may do so. If not, I'd ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda as a whole. Any discussion to be done?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as a whole. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Grant. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Our regular agenda will be on next. Item number 7 is consideration of burn ban. The burn ban is off still right now after the rain we just got. I had 2.5 inches at my area. So it was pretty substantial. It was nice and green. Water was still standing earlier, but anyway, any
I say no
action on
action.
that?
I say
No
keep it
action?
on,
No action.
keep it off.
Yeah, keep it off.
Is it off or on?
It's all.
Oh.
Okay.
It's off.
What do you think of that?
It'd be good to, it'd be better.
Well, I'm waiting to be back.
Yeah, yeah. That's smart.
Number 8 is consideration of approving a proclamation to declare the month of June Elder Abuse Awareness Month. I'm going to read this proclamation real quick. Whereas people who are elderly or have disabilities have contributed to the general welfare of Navarro County by helping to preserve customs, convictions, and traditions of many people from diverse backgrounds. And whereas these residents are vital and integral members of our society, and their wisdom and experience have enriched our lives. And whereas abuse of the elderly and people with disabilities in domestic and institutional settings is a widespread problem affecting hundreds of thousands of people across the country. And whereas Texas APS in-home caseworkers in Navarro County have investigated 247 intakes, of which 175 cases of abuse, neglect, and or exploitation were confirmed against our elderly Texans or those with disabilities in 2021. And whereas elderly abuse is grossly underreported because the elderly who are being abused find it very difficult to tell anyone and are usually ashamed and sometimes afraid. And whereas elderly abuse happens to men and women of all income levels, all cultural and ethnic groups, whether they are in good health or incapacitated in some way, in poor neighborhoods and in suburbia. And whereas many of the cases investigated by Adult Protective Services in Texas involve self-neglect, and it is our duty as citizens to reach out to people in need. Now, therefore, I, H.M. Davenport Jr., Navarro County Judge, do hereby proclaim the month of June 2020 to be Elder Abuse Prevention Month in Navarro County, and urge all citizens to work together to help reduce abuse and neglect of people who are elderly or have disabilities. I'm sorry?
We're not talking about Joe Biden.
Judge, there just needs to be one, it's in June of 2020, we just need to make that correction on the last paragraph now.
Oh, yeah, I see that. I see that. Should be one. 2020, that's right. Okay, all right, let me make that correction. This is something to be, to have consideration of, so we need a vote or a motion by the Commissioners Court and a second, and then vote on this.
I'll make a motion, we approve a proclamation to declare the month of June Elder Abuse Awareness Month.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Olson, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I will sign it. There, and go on to number 9 now, which is consideration of approving the sale of fireworks for Memorial Day, May 30, 2022. Get that in there. Any discussion on this, gentlemen? If not, I'd ask for a motion, please.
I make the motion that we approve sale of fireworks for Memorial Day, May 30th, 2022.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 10 is consideration of approving tax collection report for April of 2022. Michael Dowd.
Morning, y'all.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
All right. Elections today. This year, this month, 25,438,724.20, which is ahead of last year's elections up to this time, $21,873,723.88. That's a difference of $3,565,000.32. We're ahead from last year, 0.26%. We've had our collections so far are 94.73%, which at this time last year was 94.47.
Okey-doke. Discussion, gentlemen. Anybody? If not, I'd ask for a motion, please.
I move that we could approve the tax collection report for April 2022 by Mike Dowd.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Grant. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 11 is consideration of approving Chatfield water supply to cross Northeast County Road 2191 Precinct 2.
Yes, Judge, this is,
Mr. Perry.
yes, sir, this is just a standard road crossing where you're gonna go across the board, across the road on 2190. And I will make a motion to approve Chatfield water supply to cross Northeast 2190.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Olson. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 12 is consideration of approving resolution and financial purchase agreement with Government Capital and Precinct 2 for motor graders.
Yeah, this is something that Terry has worked on and helped us with, and where we will be getting away from RDO Financial and going to Government Capital.
Okay.
And I'll make a motion of approving a resolution and financial purchase agreement with Government Capital for Precinct 2 motor grader.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 13 is consideration of approving the purchase of a 2013 International 7500 dump truck and a 2013 Ham HD12 roller from Providence Equipment for Precinct 2.
Yes, Judge, again, this is a used dump truck that we have found, and we'll be replacing one that we're going to be salvaging in just a few minutes. And the roller will be a new purchase of something we've never had before.
Good.
And I'll make a motion of approving the purchase of a 2013 International 7500 dump truck and a 2013 Ham HD12 roller from Providence Equipment for Precinct 2.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Grant. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 14 is consideration of approving utility easement for Zayo on Southeast County Road 3220 in Precinct 2.
Yes, this is going to be for the solar farms that are coming in, where they're going to be running fiber optic cable. Mr. Barry Phillips is here. If anyone has any questions, he would be happy to answer.
What depth?
I believe 6 foot is what it said. Is that correct, Barry?
I think is this our easement or is it theirs?
It's our easement. It'll be approximately 3 to 4 foot from the fence.
It's 5.
Yeah, 60 inch.
Any discussion?
I'll make a motion of approving a utility easement for Zio on Southeast 3220.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 15 is consideration of approving a 1996 Mack dump truck as salvage for precinct 2. See attached list.
Yes, Judge, this is a truck that we spent a lot of money on and it's down again. I don't see the point of spending nothing more money into it when I bought another one. I will make a motion of approving the 1996 Mack truck as salvage.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Olson. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 16 is consideration of approving a final replat of the plantation phase 2 lots 89A and 89B for Julio and Eleuterio. Thank you. I had to look at it, figure it out. Eleuterio Ponce. Or Ponce.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning.
Yeah, it's actually two brothers, I believe, that are trying to split one property out in plantation, phase 2. It would create two properties, both of which are like 4.5 acres and above. So it does meet the septic system regulations for Navarro County, and it also meets the state and local regulations for subdivisions. And they're asking for approval for their replat.
Okay.
Do they have any other land adjoining this land?
It shows Northwest County Road 1147. That's right there, the frontage. It shows the property line goes to the center of the roadway. And then they have that easement on each side for the road. Yeah, I mean, that 4.5 acres is excluding the roadways, so.
No, I'm wanting to know if these two sections here this section that they're divided into two, do they have any other land touching this anywhere else?
I'm aware of it.
This is it, yeah. Okay, I want to make sure they're not trying to circumvent our policies and come in there and dividing it up and then waiting a certain amount of months and coming back here and doing
Oh,
it
I
again.
got you.
That's not the case, is what you're saying.
That's not.
I'll make a motion that we approve the final, because it says final, so I'm assuming that's final.
Yes.
Final replat of the plantation phase 2 lots 89A and 89B for Cecilio and Eleuterio Ponce.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. 17 is consideration of approving a final replat of Valley View Ranch Estates, lot 58-R for Saul Fuente and Maria Serta.
That one is, it was one of the older subdivisions that's been in the county for years. They're actually very small tracts. What they're doing, they're trying to put those two together, replat them into one larger tract, which will make it a 0.6 acres in total. But it's more or less just to try to get the availability to put a septic system on that property. And the county asked for 1 acre minimum. That's for a creation of a subdivision. The newer tracts of land, existing tracts like this, we'll try to encourage to put them together, at least get you a larger tract of land. The state regulations are 1/2 acre. So they're in excess of the state regulations, just not meeting the county regulations for the creation of the new subdivision. But it will give them the required area for the state regulations for placement of private subdivision, private septic system on the property. It does meet the state local regulations for subdivision also. And they're asking commission's approval on this replat.
Is there a home on this lot already?
No.
They're gonna put one there.
they're gonna, yeah, it's pending this, they'll put one. Actually, they could actually put it on these smaller tracks, they could put one on each one, as long as they request a variance and can prove that it's placed on that property. Not create a nuisance situation, they could actually put it in that. 4 acre.
Do they have any other land touching this as well?
Will they each have their own septic system if they put 2 houses on there?
Well, you can only put one.
We can only put one on there if we add them.
That's what is, can 2 homes be on the same septic system?
Well, I get, let me back up. Yes, you can, as long as the property owner owns both homes and that property. But we try to discourage that in any way possible.
What were you saying, James?
Oh, I was just gonna say, that's if you divide it up, but if you kept it divided, they said they could put 2 on there.
But I'd rather them not. Rather than put
No.
one.
No, one,
This is actually beneficial for the county.
Exactly. I'll make a motion that we approve the final replat for Valley View Ranch Estates lots 58R for Saul Puente and Maria Sedera.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 18 is consideration of approving a final replat of Hall Estates, lot 12-R4 for Charles R. Compton. Daniel?
Yes, sir. And this one's a unique track. It actually touches County Road on the east and west side. And they're asking to be able to cut out a 1.73 acre tract out of the west side of that, which will touch Northeast County Road 1070. It's above the state regulations for subdivisions, and it does meet the county regulations for septic system purposes. And Mr. Calvin's asking to be able to cut that tract out of this property.
What's the total, this track and what's the total altogether? Acres?
Total altogether was
There's 1.73 is what he wants to cut out.
yes.
And so the rest of it's what, 5 or 6 more acres?
The remaining tract, there's the lot 12-R1 is 6.27 acres. The lot 12-R3 is 1 acre in size. 12-R2 is 1.2 acres in size.
Okay, is he planning on coming in here and dividing any more of these up and creating different lots?
The 12-R1, he could actually probably split down the center if he wanted to, and give him access on both sides, both county roads. But that's probably the only other action. he can take.
I just want to make sure, like we discussed earlier before in here, that I want to make sure people aren't circumventing our policies and coming back in a few more months and adding again, and adding again, and adding again. I make a motion that we approve the final replat for Hall Estates lot 12R4 for Charles R. Compton.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 19 is consideration of approving a final replat of the TLH Country Estates lots 2-A and 2-B for Valentina Diaz.
Yes, and this is actually for family members. I think it's a sister that's going to move in behind it. It would create 2 tracts, a 5.10 acre tract and then a 5 acre even, which would put it above the Navarro County standards for septic systems. And it does meet the state and local regulations for subdivisions. She's asking the Commissioners Court to approve her replat also.
This is located on a FM 1838. It's not a county road.
Right.
And this strip on the sides, the easement to the back. So they're
Yes,
giving-
they're using that as a private drive.
Okay.
That's not a private road, it's a private drive.
And I'll ask the same question that Jason asked. Do they own any more property?
I don't believe so.
So they just have that 10 acres?
Now, it would restrict that lot 2A to no more subdividing at all. They can't
There's one of those 10.1 acre tracts that was sold years ago.
Right. This is part of an old unrecorded subdivision.
Right. Having said that, I move that we approve for final replat of TLH Country Estates Lot 2-A and 2-B for Valentina Diaz.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Olson. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Stan.
Thank you, Stan.
Next up is number 20, which is consideration of accepting the award letter for federal assistance on behalf of Texhoma HIDA for grant number G22NT0001A in the amount of $3,688,000. Terry?
This is for grant year 22 for Texoma HIDA. We are still in 21 for them, so this is a new grant
Oh,
for
okay.
their calendar year 2022.
If y'all are wondering what we're doing, we are the bookkeeper for these folks. They pay us a stipend for, or the county, a stipend for taking care of this and us voting on stuff to carry it. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, but I think you read that wrong. It's 6,088.
What did I
Not
say?
600,000.
600,000.
Yeah, you said 600.
Did I really? Oh, okay. Yeah,
Sorry.
$3,000,000,
It's on record. so I won't-
$6,088.
There you go.
Correct? Thank you. Appreciate you correcting me on that. All right. If there's no
This
further
for
discussion, I'd
for
ask for a
drug
motion.
trafficking up in the, most up in the Dallas area,
Yeah, HIDA,
for policing that.
it's high intensity drug traffic area, and it's a federal deal.
We're just the bookkeepers on it.
Yes.
And I'll make that motion that we approve the award letter for federal assistance on behalf of Texoma HIDA for grant number G22NT0001A in the amount of $3,006,088.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Olson, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Number 21 is consideration of accepting a lease agreement with Gateway 2 Investors Ltd. for Texoma HIDA facilities. You have any explanation of what that might
No,
be
but
about?
it had, I just wanted to let y'all know that it has gone to the DA so that they reviewed it. And if y'all have any questions, Bob Shelley's here. He reviewed the contract before I had a signs.
Yeah, we went through a pretty extensive rewrite of this. I mean, it came to us as just a conventional lease. We added all the provisions that are applicable to a government entity. For instance, non-funding, if HIDA ever loses the funding, we can terminate the lease. So, yeah, I've reviewed it, gone through it with HIDA's broker and their executive director, and they have both approved it.
Okay. All right, with no further discussion, I'd ask for a motion,
I
please.
move that we accept the lease agreement with Gateway 2 Investors Ltd. for the Texoma HIDA facilities.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Moore, seconded by Commissioner Grant. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Number 22 is consideration of approving to pay bills for Navarro County Sheriff's Office without a purchase order on May 9th, 2022.
It's just standard.
Normal
procedure.
stuff.
Standard operating.
Need a motion, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the pay bills for the NCSO without purchase orders on May 9th, 2022.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Perry, seconded by Commissioner Grant. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is an executive session pursuant to the Texas Government Code, section 551.074, to discuss personnel. Need a motion to go into that, please.
It is 10:49. I make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Olson, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Thank y'all for coming. Yeah. we can do that. Yeah, everybody get their own?
I'm good. How about you? This is yours, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you call this line, mark out this? I'm gonna put this on the internet. Somebody will copy this and try to make a new title out of that. You don't be careful. Mark it out as page 10. I'm not smart. I bet there was somebody out there that is.
Authorized representative, I mean, this is a different one.
No, that's.
No, there we go. Yeah, now I see it.
Yes, sir.
Come on. Push me out.
Take this one. Get him mine.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get this one back. I took yours, but I just had, yeah, I knocked that out, but I just had it, yeah, did that. Just, we don't want anybody making a copy of that. This is your stuff right here.
Oh.
I'm messing with your stuff. I'm sorry.
Okay.
You know, they're like, but it'll be replaced with. It's a trade-off. It's just a change. I hope to retire out there. Where do you live?
That's
Got lined up for you.
We've talked roads before. I've come out here some years ago. We used to leave right here with the old asphalt. All right, pick it out. See you later. Have a good day.
Go by the sales tax. He is the worst. I would like to.
Had one I couldn't find for a while. Stanley had to short think of where it was.
Can you think you can put the same thing place on?
I wish. I wish they just turned them on.
I just want to complain to somebody about something.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And my pants will stay up. But my glasses.
Oh, Lord. You know, I want to tell Dottie so bad that, you know, it's up to the state of Texas.
It is. It is not y'all's
us. We can't do
decision.
anything.
No. And in 2015, they passed that law that it was mandatory we get those things.
That's
We didn't have a
Apparently
choice.
she hadn't read that part.
Well, she may need to be told that.
And they need to call Bob.
I mean, Paul, but what I mean is she may, if she doesn't
Yeah.
know, she may need to be told.
But surely she does.
You
If
might
she
need to
says,
tell.
You know, if you're working over there in that elections office,
wouldn't you know
don't you think you would have already had enough sense to ask at least the election
that? Right before you get there.
administrator before you bothered to come over here and, you know, expound on,
That's.
you know, uh-huh.
This right here.
Yeah.
Okay, but,
Sherry, this is what they want to do.
Yeah. okay, if you have a ballot, and we used to have those little ovals, and you've got to color that oval. So then the machine goes through and it picks, but now if you're gonna count this one, you're going, well, did they really mean that one or did they mean that one? So which one do you think?
Do you remember the 2000 clean and chat?
Yes, yes,
I mean,
most definitely.
There's fallacies with every system,
Absolutely.
but
no
with this
doubt.
one, there is a paper trail because you
is.
get your ballot
That's
and
right.
it's up to you
Mhm, that's
to
right.
look at it to make sure that it's everything that you wanted in
I
it
agree.
before you stick it in the machine.
That's right.
And now then we can cross-examine the machines with the paper trail if we choose to, if there's an issue. First, she came up with 1,500.
I don't know. I'd like to know that. I'd
Show
like
me.
to see that.
Show
Me
me.
too. I would like to see that. But I'm wait there for a minute. Okay, are y'all leaving? I'm gonna push this button now.
Piece.
Hey. Okey dokey. We now need a motion to come out of executive session.
It is 12:20. I make a motion that we come out of executive session from discussing personnel.
Okay,
Second.
motion made by Commissioner Olson, seconded by Commissioner Moore. All in favor, please say aye. And we are out of that session. Is there going to be any action on this, gentlemen?
No action.
No action. Thank you. And we need one more motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Made by Commissioner Grant, seconded by Commissioner Perry. All in favor, say bye. Adjourned.
Yeah, I think this is.
You need to sign those agreements of yours.
Looks like they're mine.
You just. are you
Somebody got
okay.
some here that says
Okay,
there's
I think that's all it was.
One
Two
spot.
of them. Sir, thank you.
I'm sorry.
When they were out
Let's
there,
make sure. I think
I think you did only get two, so.
That easement deal, is that one that I'm talking
Yeah,
about?
that's the one I told you, to be sure to sign.
Okay, I'm gonna need a copy of that too whenever you're finished.
Okay.
Right with there. Whenever you get finished, if you've got